Whoever so holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Bob Vila? Wait, that doesn't sound right. Of Grayskull! That's not it either. What was it? Okay, let's see. Oh! Whoever so holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. Ow, kinda hit my knee there. Anyway guys, all shenanigans aside, I just got back from Thor and holy shit. I can't even form vowels. I would compare this to Iron Man 1 in terms of a near perfect adaptation of a comic book character. Well, at least on the Marvel side. I don't know about DC, but with Marvel, they've done the X-Men right. At least the first two films. They've done the first two Spider-Man films. The Thomas Jane Punisher movie, the Ray Stevenson Punisher Warzone movie, Iron Man 1, and now Thor. Now a lot of you I'm sure are going to be saying, well, what about Iron Man 2? It was okay, but it wasn't as good as the first one. This had all the hallmarks that you would expect from Thor. And I gotta say, as Mount Vernon Kid said, and I agree with them, no one in the cast one-upped or outdid each other. Everybody played their part to a T. And seeing Thor's journey was probably one of the most epic things that I've ever seen. Chris Hemsworth, picture perfect casting for Thor. He was arrogant in some parts, compassionate in others, and he eventually became the Thor that we all know and love. Tom Hiddleston did a great job of making Loki very sympathetic in this film, and I like that. Because Loki's just always straight evil. But yet, in a lot of the recent comics and adaptations and whatnot that they've done, Loki almost seems kind of very conflicted, very tortured. He's almost pushed to be evil. And especially in this film, I love it. Anthony Hopkins as Odin, I don't need to say anything. I think his performance pretty much speaks for itself. The Warriors 3, great casting. Lady Sif, also good casting. I think the one that did kind of stand out for me was Idris Elba as Heimdall. And just wow. Everybody complained up and down about a black guy playing Heimdall, but as I said, it doesn't matter if he's black, white, extraterrestrial, as long as he does justice to the character, and Idris Elba was Heimdall to me. And seeing the Rainbow Bridge, the Bifrost Bridge, seeing everything that happened, the only complaint, at least visible complaint, that I really have to kind of complain about, at least from a story and action perspective, is the Destroyer-Thor fight. I kind of wish that could have went on a little bit longer, because I feel that they kind of pulled a Revenge of the Fallen, that they set up the Destroyer to be this unstoppable juggernaut and Thor takes him out, you know, way too quickly. But the fight between Loki and Thor, that was amazing. You know, that to me, there were a couple of times that I actually got very emotional watching the movie, because to those of you that are only casual fans or people that have never really read a comic book in your life, you're not going to understand the feeling that guys like me, F.W. Waller, Zipblog Gory, or even Deadpoolzilla have as comic book fans, at least of the quote-unquote hardcore variety. You're not going to understand you know, how amazing it is that, you know, these are characters that we've read about. And it's as F.W. Waller and I have said, and will continue to both say it in unison, almost as if in one voice. Filmmakers need to make these comic book characters just as likable as, you know, we've grown up reading them. And I'm sure that doesn't make a lot of sense. Basically, as long as they do justice to the characters and make them who they are, make them, you know, like in this movie, I would recommend this movie to anyone that wants to get into Thor who has never read a Thor comic in their life, because to me, this did justice to Thor. There were a couple of times that it's almost as if Thor jumped out of the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby comics, and even they took a little bit of the Michael J. Straczynski and all these other modern day stuff, including like some of what Matt Fraction's done with Thor, and they kind of mixed it together, and it was very beautiful. And as always, Stan Lee's cameo is always in something either funny or just completely outrageous or just straight awesome. I forgot what Michael J. Straczynski looks like. I'm pretty sure that I know what he looks like, and I'm pretty sure I saw his cameo. And a lot of people complained about Hawkeye's cameo. I think Hawkeye's cameo, I thought that was just, oh, they're going to show him with a bow and arrow and that's it. No, you actually see Jeremy Renner talking, and you see all this stuff. You see him interacting, and I like that. You know, it makes you kind of think, well, okay, you know, this character's going to be in the Avengers and whatnot. The after credits scene where they kind of set up Captain America, just as great. This movie from start to finish, honestly, this is the quintessential Thor movie to me. This is one of those rare instances, kind of like the first Iron Man film and even the first X-Men film and Spider-Man film, etc., where the character feels like they leaped straight out of the comic book page and are just right there. There's no other feeling in the world, if you're a comic book fan, like any of us within the circle, as I refer to us, of YouTube. There's no better feeling to be a comic book fan than to see movies like Thor and do complete justice to a character that nobody's never really heard of. And I boldly predict that Thor will end up becoming a very popular facet, just like Iron Man was, and just like Batman's become. And I'm sure with Green Lantern and Captain America coming out next month and the month after that, that we'll start seeing kids dressing up as Cap, kids dressing up as Thor, kids dressing up as Green Lantern. And when I see little kids wear this kind of memorabilia and merchandise, it brings me back to a very personal place from when I was that age. And I think after watching this movie, my faith in believing that superheroes are needed is definitely reaffirmed. I think superheroes are actually very much becoming well needed and balancing out kind of all the evil. Like, if you're a comic book fan, you may or may not be as passionate about it as I am, but there's a change on the winds. But then again, maybe that could just be the adrenaline and the excitement from going to see the movie. Anyway, guys, that is my quote-unquote review of Thor. I'll try to get this posted, if possible, tonight or somewhere later on Friday, which will, so either tonight, Friday, whenever, and basically anywhere over the next 3 days. So if you're hearing this part of the video or whatever, I don't know. I'm just stoked after seeing the movie. Anyway, guys, that is it. Hope you enjoyed it, and anybody who is watching this who has not seen Thor, go see it, and I'm out.